Land TV, I'm Brian Karstens.
Whether it's close to home or halfway around.
Good morning. How are you doing? I'm rushing like hell this morning.
107.9.
And here we go.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the air.
I love the Greg Belfrage show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This is the Greg Belfrage.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. Great to have you along. Greg Belfrage Show on Wednesday, October 9th this morning. And all eyes are on Hurricane Milton. Hurricane Milton is back to a Category 5 storm ahead of landfall, which is expected on Florida late today is when Milton will make landfall, and you've got millions of people in Florida bracing for this. Longtime listeners of the Greg Belfrage Show, you'll remember my producer, Liz, who used to work here. Liz, who is currently down in Florida, and she is in the midst of this. She's going to join us coming up later this morning. So she will join us at about 8:30 this morning, 8:35. We'll talk to her about what's going on and what she's seeing in preparations and what she's doing. And so we'll give you a bit of a firsthand perspective then. For those of you who may be newer listeners to the Greg Belfrage Show, Liz was my longtime producer of the show, and very much missed. So I jumped. I was very, very glad to hear from her, and we'll talk to her this morning coming up at about 8:30. So you got millions of people. She can give us a firsthand account and of what folks are doing as they're bracing for this. For Hurricane Milton, it regained Category 5 strength last night, and it continued to gain strength overnight, according to forecasters. And the National Hurricane Center said Milton has the potential to be one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for West Central Florida. So there are just a number of stories regarding Hurricane Milton. So it is now re-strengthened to Category 5 on its way to the Florida coast. So it intensified pretty quickly yesterday, then weakened slightly, and then was upgraded again. Milton had maximum sustained winds of 165 miles per hour, says the National Hurricane Center. And so folks, of course, are urging people to get out. Newsmax has got a number of stories regarding this. Florida gas stations are running empty. So many people are trying to get out of the path of Hurricane Milton. I think the New York Post is a story this morning on what's happening, and areas that have just been emptied. People who have gotten out in the face of this storm. So there's a woman. This is a story. This is from Newsmax. In fact, Newsmax has got pretty good coverage on the hurricane this morning. This is an 80-year-old woman who is refusing to leave. And so in her area, they experienced heavy flooding with Hurricane Helene. And this woman was left standing in water for days. She lives in a mobile home in Ruskin. And she told the New York Post, I went to the closet to get I saw a little water on the kitchen floor. I went to the closet to get a towel. And in that time, the water rose up to my ankles. Then it was at my knees. And I wondered if it was going to stop. So she's been told to evacuate, but she's saying she's not going anywhere, except maybe to a shelter. She said, everyone says I should go to a shelter for this one. My son says I need to. I haven't decided yet. I'm not leaving town. This is my home. But I can decide to go to the middle school later if I want to shelter there. That's their local storm shelter that they have, is at the middle school. But she's just refusing to leave. And which is just absolutely incredible. In the face of this, a lot of other people are getting out. They don't want to be there. And you had the mayor of Tampa, Florida, who was urging people, if you don't get out, this storm will kill you. Get out or you'll be dead, is what she is saying. And that story has been trending here for the last few days, as they're trying to very much urge people to get out of the path of Hurricane Milton. So the federal government has declared a public health emergency for Florida, as Milton will make landfall later today. Milton is forecast to cross central Florida and dump as much as 18 inches of rain while heading toward the Atlantic. And that path then would largely spare other states that saw Hurricane Helene. But it will be tough going for Florida. I've got a listener down there in Florida, Chuck. And Chuck, I'm thinking about Chuck daily. He's been dropping me a couple of emails. See if I got the most recent email that I received from Chuck. He is obviously bracing for this storm. And the email that I received from Chuck, this came yesterday, last night actually. He said, I can't watch TV anymore. I've spent so much time in Tampa and the beach towns, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Sarasota. Everywhere you look, there's water. I must have competed in a dozen tournaments. He's a boater down in that area. And he just sends me the neatest photos, But he said, all of the guys I know live near the water. Their boats docked at marinas nearby. If this storm hits the bay at category 4 to 5, it'll wipe out everything. Chuck says he's fearful of this. It will wipe out everything, all towns and oceanfront property and adjacent suburban property, wipe clear off the map, Chuck said. So Chuck is a listener of mine down in that area. And he has been very much in my prayers, as have all these folks who are bracing for this. So you've got the federal government now issuing a public health emergency for Florida. Duke Energy said they're preparing for more than 1 million power outages in Florida as a result of Milton. And it said that the hurricane will impact the most populated areas of our service territory. This is coming from the Florida Storm Director of Duke Energy. Said this yesterday, actually on Monday, he said this. Despite extensive system improvements, rigorous tree trimming, the strong winds and flooding will cause power outages. Customers should expect significant damage and make immediate preparations for extended power outage durations. You've also got hospitals and other healthcare facilities on Florida's Gulf Coast that are revving up for Hurricane Milton. They are already reeling from Hurricane Helene. This is an incredible 1-2 punch in these areas. So it's expected to make landfall near the Tampa area late today. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says 10 hospitals have reported evacuations as of yesterday afternoon. 300 healthcare facilities have evacuated as of this morning. And And as well as many of the staff working there. So the nursing homes, 63 nursing homes, 169 assisted living facilities, all evacuated as a result of this. So it's just absolutely incredible. So we'll get continuing updates on Hurricane Milton from Fox News Radio throughout the morning for you. Other big stuff. Oh, and there's just finally before we move on to other news, the storm surge is expected to be 15 feet, which is just crazy. Expected to bring 10 to 15 feet of storm surge. And because of this, the Weather Channel did a simulation showing this, and they're saying there are just few places that are safe. At 3 feet, water is already life-threatening, and as far as, waiting, you really can't wait to evacuate because water can knock you off your feet. At 6 feet, vehicles get carried away, structures start to fall. Vehicles can be impacted by even less than that. It doesn't take nearly as much as you might think. All right, other big stories this morning. Donald Trump sat down with Ben Shapiro for an interview yesterday. And Trump said of the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview, he says he watched it. Said he watched it all. I watched her. I got to watch it last night, 60 Minutes. And she answers questions like a child. This is not a president. She's answering questions in the most basic way and getting killed over it. Yeah, a lot more on that coming up. And every time she does an interview, she sounds like a child, Trump said. And he said that he talked about the fact that the president he believes that President Biden is angry at her. Did you notice he did it again yesterday? Kamala Harris was on The View yesterday. Kamala Harris was on The View. That's her moment. So when The View is coming on, what does Joe Biden do? He holds a news conference. Have you noticed the timing of a lot of what Biden has been doing? It's leading to a lot of speculation. I don't want to get too sideways with speculation, but a lot of people are speculating that Joe Biden really does not like Kamala Harris. There's no, this is what many are saying. Otherwise, why would he be timing things in the way that he is? Why would he be out there? He's out there now also today, and this story is trending this morning. He's saying, he's got a great working relationship with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. No, we're working together well. This is after Kamala Harris criticized DeSantis yesterday. This is one of the big stories yesterday. So now the president out there, and actually it was Monday. It was Monday that she had criticized him. And so then yesterday, now that Joe Biden's out there, we work together. We got a great working relationship. So you've got the president repeatedly kind of getting on the stage at the same time Kamala Harris is. And then also, I don't want to say refuting, but, giving a much different perspective on DeSantis is pretty incredible. So Trump, to get back to his interview with Ben Shapiro, Trump said, Biden is so angry at her that she's trying to distance herself from him. She doesn't want anything to do with him. And, it was a coup to start off with. Okay, so he's not exactly thrilled with that. But I actually think Biden would be doing as well as Harris, Trump said. Also, Trump did an interview then with, I think it was, this was an interview that he did on the Ingram Angle that aired on Monday. And Trump revealing new details about the assassination attempt during that interview with Laura Ingraham. So Kamala Harris was asked on The View yesterday, is there anything that she would have done differently than the president? And she said, is there anywhere where she might have diverged then from Biden if she had been in charge? There was not a thing that comes to mind. So she would have done, not a thing that comes to mind. She would not have done anything differently from Joe Biden. Oh, wow. And then she was saying, we're obviously two different people. I will bring those sensibilities to how I lead. It was just the same malarkey, man. Same malarkey. Also, Kamala Harris she's just doing a flurry of interviews, and apparently they're not helping her, according to justthenews.com. More on that in a moment. She was on with Howard Stern also yesterday. And Howard Stern apparently told her, yes, I'm voting for you, but I would also vote for that wall over there, he said. His first question, I didn't expect that Howard Stern interview was going to be a hard-hitting interview. I didn't expect that. His first question was, do you nap at all? His second question, get a load of this. Did you like the Prince soundtrack for the Batman movie? What in the hell is that? And then he whined about Maya Rudolph's impersonation of her on Saturday Night Live. He said, I hate it. Maya Rudolph's impersonation, I hate it. I don't want you being made fun of. There's too much at stake. I believe the entire future of this country right now, it's literally on the line. And you got to give Kamala Harris credit here because she said it was funny. I'm a huge fan of Maya Rudolph. So I think she's put a lot of time into doing the piece and the character, she said. She talked about the SNL skits also when she was on The View yesterday. So there is her ongoing media blitz then. She has been on a number of programs. The Call Her Daddy podcast, Howard Stern, 60 Minutes, The View, Stephen Colbert. They shared a Miller Lite together, actually, on the set of his show. So it's real hard-hitting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we've got Minnesota Governor Tim Walz yesterday calling for the elimination of the Electoral College, speaking at a fundraiser in California. And Democrats have been advocating for this. And Walz said, I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go, he said. We need a national popular vote, but that's not the world we live in, said Walz. So a lot of reaction to this. The Electoral College needs to go. That's it. That is just absolutely incredible. And I mean, then, and the reason that he wants the Electoral College to go is that you're going to have then the vote decided in states, states like California, New York, who are going to wind up deciding the election. And rural America is going, a state like South Dakota is going to be left holding the bag. So the elimination of the Electoral College, it's the same old, tired, worn out hits that the Democrats play over and over again. And there's Tim Walz, true to form, bashing on the Electoral College. Also, more than a dozen states and the District of Columbia filed lawsuits against TikTok yesterday. And they're saying that TikTok is designed to be addictive to kids, that it harms their mental health. And so there was a national investigation into TikTok that was launched in 2022 by a bipartisan coalition of attorneys general from a number of states. And all of the complaints were filed in state courts. And they're saying that in the midst of this, the TikTok algorithm, which powers what users see, is of great concern. And so, again, this is an issue that has really unified people across political boundaries with concerns about TikTok. And that's a look at the big stories this morning. Thanks so much for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. It's great to have you here. This hour is brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month. Currently, it's $42 at Kello.
Weekend 6 to 9 p.m. Hello, News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires. See in-store details about how to get rebates from major tire manufacturers. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Bring charm from the outdoors into your home with Renewal by Anderson picture and combination windows. Optimizing a beautiful view and light in the bedroom, kitchen, or living room from ABC Seamless of Sioux Falls. Call 605-646-2667 today.
That's ABC Seamless. Looking for top quality trucks and equipment without the hassle? TransSource Truck and Equipment has you covered. TransSource is committed to providing superior service for all brands. They offer affordable leasing and financing options tailored to your needs. Visit TransSourceUSA.com.
Your age has never stopped you from doing more. Your health insurance shouldn't either. Introducing Align by Sanford Health Plan, an all-in-one Medicare Advantage option. With Medicare Parts A and B, prescriptions, $0 premiums and copays, and extra benefits. It's one complete plan to care for the whole you. All from a local insurance provider you can trust. Do more with Medicare. Do more with Align by Sanford Health Plan. Open enrollment begins October 15th. For a free guide, visit align.sanfordhealthplan.com.
Forgive me, my mind just races at this time of the morning. And I think, you know what, I could come in an hour earlier and I fear I'd still be flying by the seat of my pants to get on the air. So I don't want to get up any earlier than 3 a.m. I really do not.
Izervay or Avastin-capted Paygo is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today. Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Mostly sunny skies today and warming up. Our high temperature 85 with a south wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, low temperature 49. Tomorrow back in the middle 80s. It's a warm one out there with a south wind. Temperatures on Friday cooling a little in the mid 70s. That's the latest update on your weather from the Storm Center at Kettleland TV. I'm meteorologist.
And currently in Sioux Falls at 6:30, we've got fair skies and 42 right now. Joe Bowman is in the Kello.com News Center. South Dakota lawmakers calling for more resources to help prevent future scandals.
I'm Chris Foster.
Catastrophic is how the National Hurricane Center describes the storms that's about to slam into Florida.
Milton will make landfall sometime overnight across the west coast of Florida, bringing life-threatening storm surge, dangerous, devastating flooding, very strong hurricane force winds for hours, a risk of tornadoes, and widespread power outages. The system will cross the peninsula with the east coast feeling dangerous impacts through Thursday and even into Friday.
Fox senior meteorologist Janet Steen. Justice Department says a 27-year-old man from Afghanistan in the U.S. legally since 2021 admits planning an attack on large crowds on Election Day.
Officials say he and a juvenile were arrested in Oklahoma after unknowingly meeting with FBI assets to purchase 2 AK-47 assault rifles, 10 magazines, and 500 rounds of ammunition.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America's listening to Fox News.
News brought to you by Sioux Falls Implant and Sedation Dentistry. They fix your teeth while you sleep.
KELO News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the KELO.com News Center. South Dakota lawmakers are calling for more resources to help prevent future scandals within state government departments. The state legislature's Government Operations and Audit Committee is urging Governor Kristi Noem to get all state agencies' internal investigations expedited. This is all following the recent cases of financial fraud in 2 state government departments, the Department of Revenue and Department of Social Services. 19 state offices and departments have gone through the State Board of Internal Control's review process. The audits could take at least another 2 years to complete. A Sioux Falls man who worked for both the South Dakota Attorney General's office and the U.S. Attorney's office faces 21 counts of charges for raping a child. According to court documents, Donald Tinklapa's alleged crimes began in September of 2016 when the victim was just 8 years old and continued for nearly 2 years until May of 2018. Appearing in a Minnehaha County court yesterday, his cash-only bond was set at $750,000. Tinklapa served as an assistant attorney general from 2007 to 2012. State officials say there are at least 3 wildfires currently burning in North Dakota. The biggest is the Ray Tioga fires east of Williston, which began as 2 fires and then merged into one massive wildfire, burning nearly 90,000 acres. Officials say they have the fire mostly under control. The fire is responsible for 2 deaths and 8 injuries. South Dakota leads the nation in income growth. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, South Dakota's real median household income grew faster than any other state. Governor Noem praised the report's findings, saying people are moving here to share in prosperity and freedom. Sodak also has the lowest unemployment rate in the nation, holding strong at just 2%. From the KELO.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. KELO News Talk 1320 107.9.
Mostly sunny skies today for the Sioux Falls area, warming up to 85 this afternoon with a south wind at 5 to 10. For tonight, clear skies, a low near 49. And then for tomorrow, we're back up in the middle 80s with a south wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's the latest update on your weather from the Storm Center at KEVOLAND TV. I'm Brian Carstens.
The Sioux Empire's interesting news talk station with the power of information all day, all night. KELO News Talk 1320 107.9.
Today is the day to speak with your family and friends who live anywhere in Florida, because Hurricane Milton may turn out to be the most deadly and destructive storm in American history. I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/Kim. The good news, if there is any, is that hundreds of thousands are already evacuating Tampa, Orlando, and most of Central Florida. For those staying, cellular networks will not be able to provide dependable service. Newer iPhones and some Android phones will revert to SOS satellite service to reach 911, but it's not going to work indoors unless you're near a window, and even then, it's iffy. If you do get a signal, do not try to make a call. Text only. If any connection can be made, besides transmitting your short message, it will also transmit your location and any special medical information you put in your phone's medical ID. Relay this very important information to your Florida friends and family now. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. Rates rising or falling, inflation being up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 40,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP. bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backwards and more time on what's next. If I had needed this product, it's exactly what I would use. And speaking of opportunity, you can now download the CFO's Guide to AI Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Kim. This guide is free to you right now at netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is brought to you by Tires, your Give You More tire and automotive store. Financing programs available. 2 Sioux Falls locations to serve you.
Looking for a place to huddle up for football games? Head to the Safari Bar and Grill in Renner. Get 75-cent chicken wings and domestic buckets Sunday and Monday during professional football games. Safari Bar and Grill, just 2 miles north of Sioux Falls on Cliff Avenue. Experience the wild side.
Protect your home with style, ensuring lasting beauty and protection. Upgrade your roof today. Call Woods Roofing Inc. at 605-764-9517 for your free estimate. For a hole in your roof or for a whole new roof, give us a call. 605-764-9517.
Farmers and builders, listen up. Purple Wave Auction is shaking up equipment sales. We're the no-reserve online auction powerhouse where every bid could be a win. From combines to cranes, tractors to excavators, if it has wheels or tracks, we've got it at purplewave.com. Purple Wave is your ticket to upgrade your operation. Join our nationwide buying community today and see why no reserve means maximum opportunity.
Celebrate the season with the South Dakota Symphony. Christmas with the Symphony. 'Tis the season. Share sparkling holiday favorites with family and friends. Carols, dancing, sing-alongs, and more. Saturday sponsored by Nordby Family Foundation. Order your tickets at 605-731-2440 or at sdsymphony.org. December 6th and 7th at First Lutheran Church, Handel's Messiah. December 14th and 15th at the Washington Pavilion, Christmas with the South Dakota Symphony. 'Tis the season.
Okay, some mornings you might not have that get up and go.
Ooh, but at least you can get up and know.
The Greg Belfrage Show, with insightful opinions on the latest stories and frequent weather updates. It'll get you in the know while you're getting ready to go. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9. Entertaining talk.
$6:39. Faro skies 42. Good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. It's great to have you along this morning. If you would like to get tickets to the Motown Christmas Holiday Spectacular, it's coming to the Washington Pavilion Friday, November 8th. All you have to do is go to the Greg Belfrage Show page on Facebook and look for, I asked folks to just comment in order to win a pair of tickets. I think we've got 8 pair of tickets that we'll be giving away to the Motown Christmas Holiday Spectacular. And again, you want a chance? All you've got to do is leave a comment of any kind. And you're in. It's just that simple. And then coming up this Friday at after 9 o'clock, that's when the contest closes. So you've got until Friday at 9. So make sure you drop by my Facebook page. Look for it's a pinned post right at the top of my page. And for the Motown tickets, and just comment to win. It's just that easy. And there is also a link there. So if you would like to buy tickets to the Motown Christmas Holiday Spectacular, you can do so. Again, they're coming to the Washington Pavilion Friday, November 8th at 7:30. So make sure you leave a comment before Friday at 9. That's when the contest closes.
It's trending now.
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin. The hashtag does that. News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
All right, stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Kamala Harris was on The View yesterday, and she was unable to name a decision that she would have made differently from the president. And so she was pressed on how she might differ from President Joe Biden and what are decisions that she would have handled differently had she been there. And she said, there was not a thing that comes to mind. That was her response to the question. And then it was the usual. I think Donald Trump wants to be a dictator, so it's the same old tired complaints. Also, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was doing a fundraiser yesterday. This was reported by Politico, and Walz said the Electoral College needs to go, he said. I know all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. We need a national popular vote. That is something, but that's not the world we live in, he said, which is just, really kind of shocking because states like South Dakota and other states, smaller states, would have virtually then no say if you went to a national popular vote versus the Electoral College vote. Also, President Joe Biden praising Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for doing a great job dealing with Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Now, he did that 24 hours after Kamala Harris had criticized DeSantis. So on Monday, Harris accused DeSantis of playing political games because NBC News had reported he had not been taking her calls ahead of the hurricane. And so she said it's selfish. It's about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do. So then DeSantis reached out on this yesterday. He was, I think he had a little bit of steam, and I can't say that I blame him. DeSantis says she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with the FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all of our state agencies. We're supporting all of our local government, he said. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm. And she's doing that just because of her campaign. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and possessions are on the line. And we are focused 100% on that mission. So then yesterday, the president was asked about this, asked about Ron DeSantis and whether he was being cooperative. And Biden said, yes, he has been cooperative. He said he's gotten all that he needs. I talked to him again yesterday and I said, no, you're doing a great job. It's all being done well. We thank you for it. Every governor from Florida to North Carolina has been fully cooperative and supportive and acknowledged what this team is doing. And they're doing an incredible job. We've got a lot more to do. So here we've got the president contradicting what Kamala Harris has been saying. Also, Daily Caller's got a piece about the 60 Minutes, and this is her 60 Minutes interview. I talked about it at length yesterday. And trending stories generally fall a little bit behind. It takes a little time for stories sometimes to start trending. So Daily Caller has got a piece on the grilling that she received and the number of times, questioned on her flip-flops, the border crisis during the 60 Minutes interview. Also, Bob Woodward is out with a new book, and he's saying Donald Trump has had as many as 7 private phone calls with Vladimir Putin since leaving office, and secretly sent Putin COVID-19 test machines during the height of the pandemic. So it's his latest book that includes this. And Trump said in an interview with ABC News' Jonathan Karl, said of Woodward, he's a storyteller, a bad one, and he's lost his marbles, Trump said. Also, Donald Trump is going to hold a rally rather, in Kamala Harris' home state, California. So he will be there this weekend to rally supporters in California with less than a month to go in the presidential race. Again, California is a deep blue state. But Trump has actually been giving attention to both New York as well as to California. And so he'll be in California this weekend. Oh, and also Ron DeSantis. There's a standalone story about DeSantis blasting Kamala Harris for her comments about Hurricane Milton, and which I've already shared with you just a few moments ago. But he went on to say, for Kamala Harris to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. She's been vice president for 3.5 years, have dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts. So what I think is selfish, trying to blunder into this, and he went on. Also, Donald Trump is revealing new details of the first assassination attempt against him. This was an interview I think he did with Laura Ingraham that aired Monday evening. It's trending this morning. And so Trump revealed new details. He said that his son Barron was playing tennis with his friends, and somebody walked over and ran over and said, your father's been shot. He's been shot. And Trump said Barron really likes his father a lot, and he came in saying, Mom, what happened? Then they saw me get up, and they saw the fist bump. He said, when I got up, people thought maybe he's dead. Far from it. Trump went on to talk about the people at the hospital. And he said the hospital was great. And I didn't realize this. When a president goes to an area, they close the hospital in its entirety. It's ready for exactly this. I didn't know they did this. I got there, doctors and nurses were outside, no people. They literally close it, almost like they expect this. It's genius, Trump said. Who would ever think of that? I was so impressed. He said, I convinced them that I thought I was only hit in the ear. It's very interesting, but they got me up and I watched. It was dead silent, even though I was standing up. And he said, people didn't know if I was alive or not. And then when I did the fist pump, everybody realized they're screaming USA. It was the craziest day. It was a crazy time, Trump said. Also, Hurricane Milton, obviously trending in the story. Here is the mayor of Tampa telling people, you're going to die. I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die. Also, the Justice Department announced charges yesterday against an Afghan national who was allegedly plotting a terrorist attack in support of ISIS on election day in the United States. So the FBI arrested this 27-year-old man in Oklahoma on Monday after he had purchased rifles and ammunition from undercover law enforcement. 14 attorneys general have sued TikTok. So a group of bipartisan attorneys general from more than a dozen states and Washington are suing TikTok, and they're doing it all separately. So these are separate but coordinated complaints alleging that TikTok is deliberately an addictive platform that is psychologically harming and financially exploiting kids. Also, the U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday over the legality of a regulation issued by Joe Biden's administration cracking down on ghost guns. And according to reports that I've seen, that they seem willing to entertain arguments regarding this. This is the way that it appeared. So the Biden administration is appealing a lower court decision declaring that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms exceeded its authority in issuing the rule targeting parts and kits for ghost guns, because those can be purchased online, quickly assembled at home. Also, the New York Jets, in the one sports store that's trending this morning, the New York Jets fired their head coach early yesterday morning. The coach showed up to work a normal day and found out he was out of a job. They escorted him out of the building. Oh, I guess they really wanted him gone. Also, a federal judge this week on Monday ordered Google to tear down the digital walls shielding its Android app store from competition. And the judge saying Google is maintaining an illegal monopoly that has helped expand their internet empire. So the injunction issued by the judge would require Google to make several changes. Those include a provision that would require its Play Store for Android apps to distribute rival third-party app stores so that consumers then can download them to their phones if they decide they want to. The judge's order will also make the millions of Android apps in the Play Store library accessible then to rivals, allowing them to offer a more competitive selection. Also, the Cook Political Report yesterday shifted the Wisconsin Senate race from lean Democrat to a toss-up. In other words, the Cook Political Report saying that Republicans are gaining in Wisconsin. Also, the largest regulated water and wastewater utility company in the United States say that they've discovered a cybersecurity breach on their computer networks and systems. This is New Jersey-based American Water Works. And they said they learned of unauthorized activity within their computer systems and determined this to be the result of a cybersecurity incident. So, and they took a number of steps in addition to this. Also, Professor Jeffrey Hinton was often called the godfather of AI, is been awarded this year's Nobel Prize in Physics. So he shares that honor with John Hopfield, both of them for their pioneering work on machine learning, which powers AI. There's several stories that are trending involving Israel, and Hezbollah. The new leader of Hezbollah has been eliminated, Israel believes. So that's yet another huge blow for these terrorist groups. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirming yesterday that Hezbollah's intended replacement of their former leader, who was killed late last month, has also been taken out, he said. And Benjamin Netanyahu said, "We've degraded Hezbollah's capabilities. We took out thousands of terrorists. Also, we've got the head of MI5 over in Great Britain saying that ISIS and Al Qaeda present resurgent terrorism threats." So, and he's saying this too, they present a resurgent threat to the United Kingdom, he said. And he talked about the changing landscape of terrorism that is increasingly relying on children and the internet. And that's a look at the stories that are trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Thanks so much for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. This hour brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
The latest news all day, every day.
Well, I want to thank you, my friend, for starting your day with the Greg Belfrage Show. I very much appreciate it. Please come back for the fourth hour at 9:30 this morning. And that's a little bit more of a casual conversation between me and you. And I hope you'll be there. So hope to see you then. Otherwise, take care. Have a great day.